Do you often feel anxious? Is anxiety a constant companion in your life? These questions might resonate with you, and you're not alone. Anxiety is a common issue, increasingly prevalent in our fast-paced, high-pressure society. It's like a shadow that seems to follow, affecting our daily lives and overall happiness. But what if we could diminish its power? That's what we're here to explore today. 21 sentences that can potentially help reduce anxiety. These aren't magic spells or quick fixes, but rather they are perspectives. They're about understanding and framing anxiety in a way that can help us cope better, and maybe even thrive. So buckle up and prepare for a journey into understanding anxiety and finding ways to lessen its grip on your life. Let's dive into this list of one-liners that could give you a fresh perspective and some much-needed relief. Scene script. Here's our first sentence. You are not your thoughts. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's quite simple yet profound. It suggests that the thoughts you have, especially those anxious ones, are not you. They don't define you. You're not bound by them. They're just thoughts, transient visitors passing through your mind. Just as you wouldn't say you are the clouds because you see them in the sky, you are not your thoughts just because they pass through your mind. Next, we delve into the truth that thinking you are your anxious thoughts only deepens the experience of anxiety. Imagine you're in a dark room. You're scared, but then you realize, it's not the room that's scary, but your thoughts about it. The more you associate your identity with these thoughts, the scarier the room becomes. But if you step back and separate yourself from these thoughts, you'll see that the room, much like your mind, is simply a space, neutral and unthreatening. Now, onto the third sentence. It's not the environment or other people that cause our stress and anxiety, but our thinking about those things. This is a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? But it's true. It's not the traffic jam that's stressful, but your thoughts about it. It's not your boss who's making you anxious, but your thoughts about them. It's your interpretation of events, not the events themselves, that cause your stress and anxiety. Moving on to the fourth sentence, let's talk about consciousness. Anxiety is a low consciousness state. When we're anxious, we're stuck in our heads, lost in a sea of worry. But to enjoy higher consciousness, we need to let go of these mind-made illusions and expand our awareness in the present. It's about being here now, fully engaged with life as it unfolds, free from the shackles of anxiety. Finally, we arrive at the fifth sentence. You are not an anxious person, you just experience anxious thoughts. This is a key distinction. You're not an anxious person any more than a sky with clouds is a cloudy sky. It's simply a sky with clouds passing through, and you're simply a person with anxious thoughts passing by. Remember, you are not an anxious person, you're just experiencing anxious thoughts. Moving on to the sixth sentence, meditation can help lower anxiety. This statement is as profound as it is practical. You see, meditation isn't just a trendy pastime for spiritual gurus. It's a tool that trains your mind to observe your thoughts, rather than getting swept away by them. When you meditate, you learn to view your thoughts like a third-party observer, not as an active participant. This detachment gives you the power to let go of anxious ideas, rather than allowing them to control your emotions. The seventh sentence tells us, the more we think critically about ourselves, the more anxiety we will feel. Isn't that a truth we've all experienced? The relentless self-criticism, the constant second-guessing, it's like a merry-go-round of anxiety. But here's the thing, this self-imposed critique is not a reflection of reality. It's a manifestation of our fear and insecurity. To break free, we need to replace this self-criticism with self-compassion. It's time to be your own biggest cheerleader, not your harshest critic. Now, here's something intriguing. Sentence 8 explains, panic describes a state where the volume of our thinking is high, which means to calm down, we must focus on our breath, not on our thoughts. This ties back to the concept of meditation. When we feel panic rising, our thoughts start to race, creating a cacophony of worry in our minds. But instead of trying to control these thoughts, we should focus on our breath. Breathing is a calming, grounding force. It's always there, steady and reliable. By focusing on the breath, we anchor ourselves in the present moment, silencing the noise of our anxiety. Sentence 9 throws a curveball. A lot of stress is trapped in our hips, which is why hump dancing like a chimp on speed can release much of this. It's a humorous and colorful way to remind us of the connection between our physical bodies and our mental state. Physical activity, even something as silly as impromptu dancing, can help to release pent-up stress and anxiety. So, the next time you feel panic rising, focus on your breath and let go of those anxious thoughts. This is the essence of sentence 10, and it's a mantra worth repeating. When anxiety looms, remember, you are not your thoughts. You have the power to choose calm over chaos, so breathe, let go, and dance like nobody's watching. Scene script. Here's the 11th sentence. A lot of stress is trapped in our hips. It sounds odd, doesn't it? But think about it. When you're anxious, your body tenses up, right? And often, that tension accumulates in the hips. Ever noticed how you feel lighter, more relaxed after a good stretch or a dance session? That's because physical activities like dancing help release the pent-up stress in your body, leading to a calmer mind. Moving on to the 12th sentence. To overcome anxiety, we need to quit taking anxious thoughts so seriously, improve our health, and focus on adding value to the world around us. Anxiety often comes from overthinking, from giving too much importance to our anxious thoughts. But here's the thing, thoughts are just thoughts. They're not facts, they're not predictions, they're just thoughts. So, let's stop taking them so seriously. Instead, let's focus on improving our health and adding value to the world. That's a far more productive use of our time and energy, isn't it? Next up, the 13th sentence. A non-processed diet and sleeping at least 7 hours is foundational for a calmer, happier experience. This one's pretty straightforward. A healthy lifestyle contributes to a healthier mind. Fresh, unprocessed foods nourish your body, and a good night's sleep rejuvenates your mind. So if you've been surviving on junk food and pulling all-nighters, it might be time for a lifestyle overhaul. Now for the 14th sentence. A great way to relax is to breathe for a few minutes only through the left nostril, because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is calming. Here's a quick, effective relaxation technique for you. Just close your right nostril and breathe in and out slowly through your left nostril. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, leading to a calmer mind. Remember, there's no clever mindset hack for anxiety, so stop trying to outsmart it and start focusing on relaxing physically, breathing, and letting go. Now, on to the 16th sentence. Quitting caffeine can reduce anxiety by over 60%. That's right, over half of your anxiety could be reduced by simply skipping that extra cup of joe. Caffeine is a stimulant that can trigger anxiety and panic attacks and impair your sleep, which can lead to even more anxious feelings. On to sentence 17. Did you know that vaping and smoking cigarettes are other significant aggravators for anxious feelings? Nicotine, like caffeine, is a stimulant. Not only does it cause an immediate spike in heart rate and blood pressure, but it can also lead to feelings of restlessness and anxiety. Let's move on to sentence 18. It's all about finding a way to enjoy yourself, be occasionally goofy, and have a sense of humor. These are significant hacks for a calmer life. Laughter really is the best medicine. It relieves physical tension and stress, leaving your muscles relaxed for up to 45 minutes after. Sentence 19 tells us that you can have fun, regardless of the circumstances, because fun is a choice. Choosing to see the lighter side of life can help you to manage stress and anxiety. It's not about ignoring your problems, but rather about seeing them from a different, more positive perspective. Now, sentence 20. You're not a fearful person, you merely lack practice in the thing you fear. Fear is a normal and healthy response to uncertainty and danger, but when fear becomes a constant, it turns into anxiety. The more you expose yourself to the things you fear, the less they will scare you. Lastly, let go of the need to fix yourself and focus more on taking action. That's your best cure for anxiety. This is our 21st sentence. It's not about becoming a completely different person who never feels anxious. It's about accepting who you are, and then taking steps to manage your anxiety effectively. You can't control everything in your life, but you can always control your actions. So take action now. Your journey to a less anxious, more peaceful life is just beginning. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? Indeed, we've delved into the depths of anxiety and surfaced with 21 powerful sentences. These aren't just words, they're lifelines, reminders that we are not our thoughts, nor are we our anxiety. We've learned that the root of anxiety lies not in our surroundings, but in how we perceive them. We've discovered that anxiety is a state of low consciousness, and to rise above it, we must let go of illusions and embrace the present. We've also acknowledged the importance of a healthy lifestyle, from a non-processed diet to adequate sleep, in cultivating a calmer, happier existence. We've realized that there's no need to outsmart anxiety. Rather, we simply need to relax, breathe, and let go. We've understood that fun is a choice and that fear is just a lack of practice. Remember, you are not your anxiety. You are much more than that. Let's embrace the calm and peaceful life that awaits us.